Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking to a very, very distinguished panel. We are discussing women in new media confluence all through the day today. And we're typically discussing right now portrayal of sexual violence and abuse in series and films. We're talking about the impact of cinema, and we're going back to the paintings of Ravi Verma. We've discussed Quentin Tarantino, and we've talked about as to how we as a society probably need not have any boundaries on artists. Another interesting theme that is portrayal of violence and abuse of women in films. So, as you all agree, most films revolve around the wronged or violated woman and a hero protecting her and avenging the wrong done. So, showing prolonged rape scenes was an integral part of the films once upon a time. But I'm also worried about the way stalking, catcalling, pinching, slapping, kissing, hugging against her will are shown as fun and normal behaviors to win the love of the lady in the films, particularly the commercial films, thus laying the foundation for the rape culture in society that normalizes such behavior in as male entitlement. It is a normal kind of a behavior to woo a woman. So I'm worried about that also. I'm very happy that we have No Rape in India joining us as a cause partner and hosting this conversation on their club room as part of the first ever full day conclave on Clubhouse platform. Thank you, Ravina, and thank you, Sangeeta, for joining us. The event is being organized by Population First under its flagship program, Ladli Media Advocacy Initiative, and is supported by UNFPA and Norwegian Embassy of India. The event is coordinated and put together by Vinita Nanda.
I'm going to ask Prerna, who's been acting on television, has done shows like Bunyad, which showed an elder man getting married to a younger woman, how the younger woman takes charge of his family. And, it's a show called Bandhani, which was handled very sensitively. From your perspective, Prerna, when you're choosing a role, what comes in your mind when you're picking up a role, saying yes or no to a role, whether the woman is being treated fairly, whether the character is being treated fairly, whether is that an important thing to you? Because remember, your career, your living is based on the income you earn. Ashima, you've talked about there not being stereotypes previously, and feminist critics have argued that the continuous sexual objectification of women on screen can have harmful impact on women in the real world. Now, I'm going to play the devil's advocate. Like when you see violence in film, you say that it comes out on the streets. When you see comedy on screen, does it come out on the streets as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. Like I said, to Anil's point, does media lead society or society lead media? It's a very, very interconnected relationship. So there's nothing that you can, I think both drive each other. Tom and Jerry has historically had Tom beat the hell out of Jerry with a frying pan, but no child has tried to emulate that, right? Mm-hmm. And it's been world over successful. So I don't think there is a black and white to you should not show this, that, this, right? It is about how you portray it, at what points you portray it, and is that portrayal necessary for the story you are telling, right? Because yes, of course it has an impact. What you show will have an impact on the society, and more so now because the youngsters are constantly consuming this, right? But it's a question of, and I definitely agree. I mean, I think there is a deluge of violence, and I'm not even talking about violence against women. I think violence, abusive language, all of that completely being used today in the OTTs, right? But on the flip side, I think the more our society starts showing acceptance of the other kind of content, I would hope that is going to start having an impact on the makers also.
These are the questions that are very important then that come to my mind whenever I'm selecting a role. And even when it comes to regular shows that are going on right now on OTT, where there is a lot of intimate scenes or even violence, sexual violence, and I'm very, very conscious if it is pertaining to the story, if it is necessary, just like in Delhi Crime, the way it was shown, it was necessary and it was shown very aesthetically, whatever they showed. At the same time, extremely impactful. So what I believe, in fact, my brother this morning was telling me that ideally they should localize Delhi crime. They should dub it in all the languages, in Bhojpuri or in any other language that caters to the state of India, to the country of India. And ideally it should be on every platform, and people should be able to consume that, however difficult it is. Like, we have to put in our best as creators and makers to
Yeah.
localize it and make it possible for everybody to view. So, I mean, yeah, I know this is all very ideal and easy to say, easy to talk, but it is important to discuss. Why not?
So I'm going to go to Tathagat for a quick comment on this.
We have grown up watching films where Mr. Bachchan beats up 50 people, kills a tiger, and then romances the heroine. How many of us in the society we want to become that person ourselves? Entertainment has a certain specific purpose. It goes on for a couple of hours, 3 hours, in one auditorium, in one space. And the purpose of entertainment is to entertain. As I mentioned earlier, that is it a reflection of the society, or society is a reflection of entertainment? This is something that, like, this discussion can go on. How much am I being influenced? That entirely depends on how much I'm allowing myself to be influenced. When it comes to mass consumption, who are the people who are watching your Chulbul Pandey? Who are the people who are watching this popular cinema? And what are they doing after watching that popular cinema? What is the kind of activity, action, act that is taking place once we watch the cinema? I think we are going to be a little harsh on ourselves if we feel that everything that we watch on screen, we want to imbibe it. We know for a fact that we are going there to entertain ourselves, whatever entertainment means.
Like, we have one study which was done by one of the NGOs where they have spoken to adolescent boys with regard to portrayal of, teasing and street violence, and how they view girls on the street. And it was really shocking to know that most of them felt that girls like to be teased, and they said it is fun activity, and they said that they dress up because they want to be teased on the streets, and then they saw nothing wrong in indulging in those kind of activities. So that is something which we really need to understand, because what we see and what we understand and how we react is very different from the impressionable minds. They don't consider them as wrong or something which sort of violates the space and bodily integrity of the women. So what I would like to say is that I'm not saying that don't show violence, don't show abuse. As so many of you have mentioned, it is not about violence, but how you're showing it. Are you showing it as fun activity? Are you there is one scene where one of the heroes says, what do you see in a woman? And he says in a very वो आते हुए देखे या वो जाते हुए देख रहे हैं. I mean, it's these kinds of dialogues, this kind of body language, the smile on the face of the hero when he says it. These are the things which normalize that kind of behavior. And for that, I think a lot depends on the cinematographer, the way the shot is made, the director, how he builds up that whole situation, kind of a thing. So we cannot say that, okay, we show it and it's up to the audience to pick up whatever they want from it. No, it is not that. There is a certain responsibility on the creators also. They have to be creative in showing those kinds of situations which happen and which are part of our living. I'm not saying don't show them, but how we show them is a choice I think the creators have to make.
I agree. You should be very sensitive and make sure that you do not show, that it's normal to, whistle at girls, catcall, tease them. But remember, even boys go through that during the growing up years. I don't know whether the studies have been done in that regard. I'm sure they have been. And they would have shown that even boys go through similar kind of experiences. And I don't mean to say that it should be permissible that they can catcall and tease girls.
Yeah, I think it is important that we acknowledge the violence that boys face also, because which doesn't happen in the films much. And it is really horrible, some of the experiences of the young boys who are sexually exploited and then abused and teased, and bullying that happens in schools and colleges. So that is also an aspect of violence which needs to be addressed and brought into public domain, because it is still something which is under wraps. Nobody wants to talk about it.
The violence that the boys and the men go through, and which is still under wraps, because it really goes against the notion of masculinity that we are trying to propagate over here. So that cishet masculinity that we're trying to portray over here as the only form of power that we want to show, which is what actually is getting promoted to the cost of so many of us around that. This is an age-old conflict between the maker and the machinery which is consuming what the maker has made. Because yes, how can you limit the creative aspect of what the maker wants to put out, or the creative vision of the person who's putting out the content? And how do you actually look at how that content is being consumed? And I think it's all coming back to what this person before me was speaking about, is how it is getting framed. Who is saying it, and how it is getting framed, and how it is getting normalized. And I don't think that we can actually ever abdicate ourselves from the responsibility and the accountability of the impact that our content is going to have on the people who will consuming it. It is this abdication which has actually led to the state of affairs that we are all grappling with and fighting against in everyday lives. If in a television there is a kind of a portrayal which is happening about objectification of a woman, and it is being consumed normally by a father and a son sitting together in that place, the son definitely is going to feel it's okay, like what somebody was saying over here, ki the girls want to be teased. The girls, this is the only way that you have to do, is to follow the girl and pursue it. Like what they say, mani man bhave, moodi hilave, is the understanding that everybody grows up with, that the girls, good girls will never say yes. The good girls will only say no, so you don't have to respect a no, because a no is always going to become a yes. And that is something as simple as that, where it starts. It doesn't really have to reach the explicit sexual violence that we are talking about in many of the instances.
There is a gentleman called Miguel Sabido. He used to be a Televisa executive in Mexico. And the Miguel Sabido technique brings out, it does programming keeping in mind that society needs to get exposed to certain thought processes without using the traditional tropes of screenwriting, of characters, etc., that we follow. So there are ways and means of showcasing something which will allow to bring out beneficial improvements in society. Now, the sad part is Doordarshan used to use it in the 70s, in the 80s with Hum Log and with Bunyad. After that, not many people have used the Sabido technique. We tend to paint everything black and white based on where we are located. For the woman in the village, it's a sense of freedom.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying over here at all. But I would just like to add another layer. Most of this content is emerging from a patriarchal mindset and taking it forward. So what are we really looking at? How are we really defining liberation? Because the patriarchal mindset is something which is actually informing most of the ills that we have over here, where gender is concerned, or exclusion is concerned, or discrimination is concerned.
There needs to be a better representation of women. One, there were studies which showed that, in cinema, hardly 37% characters are given proper representation. 73% is occupied by males, even in normal cinema. Whereas in television, it's the other way around, where women get a lot of exposure, of screen time. And women who are coming in cinema are probably coming in as props in romantic scenes, though that is changing in recent times with the new cinema which is coming out.
Nobody is interested to talk publicly about solutions. They want to talk about the problem, and they want to talk about the problem so much. And the best example I can give you is the 2012 Nirbhaya case. We spoke about this one case, this one rape that was it was 1 out of 24,000 rapes that happened in 2012 for so long. that we conveniently ignored the other 180,000 rapes that took place in the last 5-6 years. So if this is what is our approach going to be for women's safety, I am afraid that we won't be able to make any headway going forward. Coming to the point of films and series, I have honestly stopped watching most of these crime series, and I have stopped watching anything that has got to do with action, whether it's a Uri movie or it is, Sher Shah or any of these movies. And purely because there are certain, as a expert in crime and security, I am unable to fathom the mistakes that a director asks his characters to make just to make the movie more interesting. I'm unable to watch these kind of mistakes that are being portrayed by a character on screen deliberately.
As an educator, all I would like to add is that if not just sex education, but the concept of consent is being taught to everybody right from a very early age, from in the schools, through psychologists, through people who are in the concept of men and women's right activism, with the help of these people, and especially those who are survivors of similar kinds of extremely unfortunate incidents, if they could be brought into certain backgrounds and they could share their experiences as well as their knowledge with students right from an early age, I think this is very, very important, not just in our country, but everywhere else.